I wanted to go on a rant a little bit. So, I've been having a lot of things happen negatively this decade, honestly. Dealing with pain and some of them dealing with like other people, but it's something that was devastating. It was just, certain people tried to force me to do something and I rejected it. I did not want to do it, and I pursued what I wanted to do. Um, because to me that makes more sense. And something that keeps coming back to my mind, it's kind of like just making me like upset. Not so much because the person was getting under my skin, but more so because of what logic they use to abuse others in the workplace and to bully others around and to force others uh to do their bidding, so to speak, and force their authority on others so they can feel that they are the most dominant in the office space, because that's all you fucking need at work is goddamn fucking caveman logic. So one of the arguments, and this was one that was like that really fucking pissed me off, that I just could not stand, was uh that I should not have pursued streaming or making content whatsoever. I should not have my views out there because I'm just someone that's like doesn't like know anything, basically how they put it. But at the same time, I think that they were upset because I was doing something didn't that they didn't like. um and it could potentially take me uh out of their grasp, because this person was honestly abusive to their family and to their workmates also. Um so one of the arguments that they used was, uh you sh- you have to listen to me, and if you don't, you're going to die. And the reason why you have to listen to me, this is what they said while I was on the clock at work, by the way. uh you have to listen to me, and if you don't, you're going to die, because this is your soul speaking, and you should know it's your soul, because your soul speaks to you in a way that uh whatever happens to be around you at the time is your soul speaking to you, which at the time was that fucking idiot. So uh basically, I have to be, uh I guess they were trying to put me inside of a mindset where I have to constantly be looking out for the things around me to see if my soul is speaking to me, kind of bullshit, which I really don't believe. I mean, yeah, okay, of course. At certain points in your life, maybe your friends come around you and they try to tell you something, if you have like a bad habit or something like that, or something negative is going on, and maybe they just want to genuinely help you, but uh so they try to like come around, and maybe some people don't like that, so they don't listen, and then those two people stop being friends, and it's whatever, right? But in this case, in this scenario, this person was trying to dominate with logic that put them in a position of being a messenger of God. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiot. You are a goddamn manager of a shipping warehouse. You don't know shit. Okay? You don't fucking know shit. I don't care if you have a family. You don't fucking get to go and harass other people that are working on the clock, so you're wasting the company's money, and you're wasting the money of, or the time that could be spent doing other things. So this being said, this person decided to do this, and then try to throw in uh that uh that I should not, because this is something that I had talked about before, not with them, but with my coworker. Because sometimes my coworker and I would talk about things. We'd talk about, maybe like family life, maybe some issues that, either one of us were like having, just to like bounce ideas off of each other during like downtime, because life is fucking hard. Life is hard. Um, so, and you do that kind of thing with someone that you work with every day. You get to know them like years together, and I don't know. It's just one of those things where it feels better to have someone to like, maybe not expect them to solve your problems, but just to have like an ear. So, anyways, uh like I said, um this person tried to say that I was a uh that I should not have, or that I shouldn't leave Christianity, because that's something that they fucking eavesdropped on because they were nosy as shit. Or that I shouldn't I shouldn't like decide to like stream or whatever, which I just happened to get hurt, and because I got hurt and I couldn't do anything else, I just started streaming, and I'm still hurt. um so like, those two factors, it's just like, how do you see that you should tell other people what to do because you're a department manager? And this is something else that I think, and I feel like that I've always seen this about department managers, but it's just so much more, so in the past decade and a half, where people that are managers are just fucking shit to talk to in general, because they feel like that they fucking know everything, and they feel like that they can tell other people what to do because they're a manager over a department. No, you can't tell other people what to do. You're not a fucking judge. You are in no way have authority over other people besides whatever they have to do in their fucking department for whatever business that they happen to work in. So that being said, um I literally had to tell this person that was older than me, uh, that, I don't care what they think, it doesn't matter. And they kept on coming at it from like different angles or whatever to try and get me to basically submit to them, which I never did because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. But something that really angered me about the situation was them using the excuse of that they can do this because it's my soul talking to me. All right. This is one of the things where I feel like my soul is talking to me, all right? This is one of the things, okay? There is a bill that comes into the mail, and if you don't pay it, there is going to be a fine. And if you continue not to pay it, there's going to be more fines. So you're going to be spending more of your money and have less freedom in the long run. All right? As much as I hate to tie money to the soul, okay? Basically, your freedom depends on how much money you have in America, at least. So there. That's an example that I feel like my soul is speaking to me. Or if I have some um some type of, I don't know, direction from an authority figure like a police, or a police officer, a judge, something like that, and they are telling me to that I have to do something, and if I don't do something, X, Y, and Z laws will be applied and I will be punished or detained or fined or whatever. To me, that is my soul speaking to me. Those are my options at that moment, because if I don't choose what to do and act wisely, then these things can be taken away from me, or this much money can be taken away from me, or this many years can be taken away from me by the state or the federal government, because that's how shit works. So why try to compress someone into a position where you feel like you're any of these things to them, and try to act like that you alone are the supreme authority because you decide to fucking say something? You're not. You're not. You're you're just a regular person like everyone else that doesn't have any authority whatsoever. So why are you acting this way? Why are you going around telling people that their soul is speaking to them, so they must listen? Another thing that I feel like for how my soul is speaking to me. Let's see. Oh yeah. I'm in a lot of fucking pain. I'm in a lot of pain and I don't know what to do, but I have to tell somebody, because if I don't fucking tell somebody, I'm not going to have enough money to live later on, because I can't fucking work, and I'm probably going to end up dying for lack of food or lack of money to support myself. And maybe I still have money for food, but I don't have any money to pay bills with or anything like that. These type of things are what I feel like, or if you feel that you are in some kind of danger at some point, and you suddenly get an idea to call somebody, it just pops up there, or to do some type of action that can help you out in the situation, whatever the fuck it may be. Those are instances where I feel like my soul is speaking to me, or if I have a dream and the dream is about something that has happened in my life before and is warning me that these things might come into play later on, and that I need to watch out for them. That's another example that I feel like my soul is speaking to me. Not when just a regular average person, which, although I will go ahead and say, a regular average person could also be your soul speaking to you if they come from a place of genuine uh wanting to help somebody, wanting to make sure that somebody is okay, wanting to make sure that somebody is set, checking if they need help, checking if they need some sort of, they need to be carried somewhere, if they're stranded, if they're sick, if they feel that that person is in danger and they want to go check on them, like, because people do this, and I've watched many of videos of people that had to survive, and also read many accounts of people that had to survive extreme, horrible, shitty fucking conditions, and they never fucking gave up. And one of the things that kept them going was somebody just happened to come passing by, and they were genuinely a nice person, and they wanted to check to see if this person was okay, and that's how that person made it out of that situation. That could very well have been their soul trying to help them so they can get back on track to doing what it is that they need to do to reach their or to reach up for their highest potential, to achieve what they're supposed to achieve, whatever it may be. There's 9 billion humans on this earth. Every one of them is different in some type of way, so everyone's going to achieve everything different. So um I don't see the fucking logic in that uh that I had to listen to this person at all, or have this person be in some sort of authority over me, because they didn't even have authority over me, like, in that job setting. Okay, yet they still felt the need to go and harass me and other people too, to try and just be a shitty fucking person and, like, meddle in their life or whatever, to try and get them to see that their viewpoint is the best when it's not. All this also coming from being raised in a fucking shitty ass ver- religion of Christianity, where the same things would happen, where people would just come up and try and convince you that uh that your way of life is wrong and their way of life is right, and you should do everything that they tell you to do right then, because that's God speaking to you. God has found you. No, that's a fucking dumbass. Um don't fall prey to them. So I've been really honestly researching what it means for, like, the past, because I've been in uh diving deep into pagan books, mythology, and uh honestly enjoying every moment of it, and reading things slowly so I can soak them in better, and I can think about them more, instead of just reading through, like, an entire book in, like, a day. Because it's just something that is there for me to, like, absorb knowledge that, if I probably would have read it as a kid, I would have absorbed it a lot faster. But now that I'm an adult and I've had different way of life as a child forced upon me versus the way of life that I live now. So sometimes I really have to think about things, not so much as in, like, overthinking, but, like, seeing, like, a meaning of something to be something different, because it is a completely different way of life. Um Not so much in what I do from day to day, but definitely in you know, your pact, so to say, with the gods and goddesses, and the path of paganism that you choose to follow, and how you choose to see your new life, and how you choose to handle things, that may not be fun, but are necessary to handle then and there to get them out of the way. So, uh, a lot of what I've been reading actually, uh, it actually confirms what I have thought for a while, and that's that if your soul is speaking to you, the first person your soul will tell the message to is you. But it will do so in a direct way that you may not understand. So, because you may not understand the direct path of communication to your higher self, your soul may guide you to people who think in this way. So, you associate with this people, and then you understand the original message that your soul may have told you a while back in your life. Uh, what is it? Humans do not live a long life. Life is fast, life is short. But 10 years, a decade, is a fucking long ass time to not understand a message and to instead struggle with what others around you are trying to get you to believe, versus when your soul is trying to say, your higher self is trying to say, you need to be in this direction, you need to be in this path, because this is where you can have the most potential to be happiest at, and to be the most successful, and to achieve the most things in your life, not what all these other people are trying to get you to do. Because people in groups are, in my experience, most of the time pretty fucking shitty, especially if they can all collude behind someone that they think that they can fool. I've had that happen to me many a times, being a part of the Jehovah's Witnesses organization. It's not, hold on, this thing messed up on me again. There we go. Is it working? There we go. Okay. So I've had this happen to me many a times, being part of the Jehovah's Witness organization, where people try uh um to peer pressure you into doing something that they want, that at the end of the day will benefit them, when in reality this person had these certain needs because maybe they were abused at home, maybe they were sexually abused, or they were a victim of violence in the home, or they were a victim of emotional abuse. Well, now these people have found out what this person is susceptible to, so they will use it to bully them and to get what they want out of them, and don't actually care about the person themselves. They just care only what the person can give to them, and what they can wring out of the person to the end of that person's life, or to the end of whenever that person says, "Hey, this is fucking enough," and then just backs off. Um, so that that has been my experience with these types of things. I feel solid and concrete in my understanding that when there is something to be learned, most of the time it is first put right in front of your face. Right in front of your face, so you can see it, so it is clear. This is how my understanding has been of many things that have happened to me, and it's not necessarily because I made a mistake. It's more so because I was in a um in a place of, you have to be here no matter what, so I didn't have a choice, mixed with fear, mixed with I was never allowed to pursue the things that I wanted to pursue as a teenager, and especially in mythology and religion. So I had to hide who I was, I had to hide everything. So that's another thing. The things that you need to do in life, well, you have to hide who you are. So you have to hide this in the back. So you still have to put on this persona and act and read and speak and do the same things that the ones around you are doing, without them knowing that you do not want anything to do with that life. Because if you say anything or do anything, your whole family will be cut off from you. That is the basically, you know, I feel like it's the beginning of a story of disaster for one's life. Because it's one thing that, hold on, this thing keeps messing up on me. It's one thing that that basically the you know, this person was in a church, or this person had some type of ideology, and they were raised in it, but they could leave at like any moment and no harm be done to them. Hold on, I have to fix my PG tuber. It's so messed up. There we go. Right. It's one thing when someone is raised in a place of, you know, you can leave whenever you want. Your family will still accept you. You will still be loved, and you can believe in anything that you want, and you will still be loved by your family. You will not, you'll still be there for all the events, for the good moments and the tragedies that happen in life. Whereas if you don't do exactly what someone is telling you, your family will be cut off from you. They won't want to talk to you. You'll be completely stripped out of your circle, and you'll be tossed out, and no one will give a fuck what the hell happens to you. Those two things, in my eyes, are two completely different worlds because, for one, everything that's happening around you is supposed to be perceived as, according to this person, your soul wants you to die. Which, what the fuck? What kind of fucking sense is that? Uh, and your soul wants you to die because your family doesn't want to talk to you because you no longer want to be part of this organization that brainwashed and sexually abused you and manipulated and lied to you your entire life to try and squeeze as much whatever energy and trauma and fear out of you as they possibly could. Like that is not my soul speaking to me. Or better yet, being in a fucking judicial committee and receiving judgment from three people that are not qualified to do anything that they're doing. They're not qualified to lead. They allow pedophiles into their organization, and they also let the ones that hurt others go. That is not my soul speaking to me. That is a fucking nightmare to be in for anybody. Nobody goes and like signs up and just says, "Oh yeah, that's what I want right there." No, nobody fucking does that because you don't fucking know. So how is it that, or better yet, a completely different scenario, and one that has been and become increasingly common. I hope, I'm not saying that I want these things to happen, but maybe there's a shooting somewhere. Okay? Is that also your soul speaking to you because you went out one day and went to a fucking store somewhere and there was a fucking shooting? Like, what the fuck does your soul have to do with that? What does any of that have to do with being spoken to? Or better yet, you're at work. Someone from a completely different department that has nothing to do with you comes and starts talking to you about your soul. What the fuck does that have to do with anything that is happening there? That is for work. That is for what is going on in the workplace. That has nothing to do with what my soul is trying to speak to me. And I feel really, really aggravated because the first person that, at least in my experience, that the soul tells that something needs to be done about a situation, or something needs to be done to prevent a situation, or to give a warning, the first one that it tells is the person that the soul belongs to. Because that's the whole point. That's your spiritual side coming out and trying to warn you, trying to give you some type of guidance about something, or trying to nudge you in the right direction. And so that way you can benefit from the warning or benefit from whatever it is that you had to do to prevent something from happening, rather than it living in tragedy. Because the human soul, is a very powerful thing. So I I have yet also, this is something else that ties back into being part of a Christian religion, and also something that I really do feel like that is, it could have some things going on in a pagan setting too, if you're that person is part of a coven, which I'm not. But that being said, there can be a time the uh when the congregation is trying to speak to someone. Maybe they're trying to get that person to come off of drugs, or to see that they're hurting their family, or to see that they are trying to or maybe they're trying to also achieve something in life. So maybe are trying to encourage that person to pursue whatever dreams that they've been having. Maybe it's something really positive. And yeah, in those settings, uh I can definitely see it being easier to just say, well, I should do this because this is what my soul is trying to tell me. Um, but also, it's to me, that's also a very selfish thing to say, because everyone around you has a fucking soul. All right? Every single person around you has a fucking soul. So maybe those people coming to you trying to tell you something that you need to do, or something, whatever, maybe it's because you didn't get it. So it goes out from the first person to the nearest group around them to try and to tell them, or maybe to the nearest person around them that knows something about the situation that person is in, and to come back to that person and say, hey, maybe you should do this or that, or maybe that other people's souls see that you are not around in the future and they wonder why. So they go and they tell you why, what's happening, and because they are concerned, and because they want their friend to be around them in the future. So maybe that is another aspect of it too that I can kind of see of, maybe that's when another person has their soul speaking to them kind of in a way. But I still believe it's more so that other people have their souls around them wondering what happened to this person. Where did this person go? And the reason why I feel that way is because, and I'm not going to bring this up, but I had a person in my life pass away, and you know, I it was kind of assumed that in the past that um later on this person would not be here, even though this person was very young to have passed away. um so that's like another thing too, and that's why I say that, maybe it's the other people's soul looking for your energy, looking for your soul later on, but they don't see it for some reason, and they're concerned about that, so they try and tell you something, but that still does not necessarily mean that it's your soul coming back to you. Because like I said, I really do feel that from a spiritual sense, no other person, at least for me, I really do feel like that no other person is responsible for my spirituality besides myself. And that being said, that because no other person is responsible, no other person would really know anything to try to how to help me spiritually, especially if I don't say anything to them first, or like ask them any questions. And I mean, yeah, I'm not part of a coven. I am a solo practitioner, and I mainly study and keep most of my ideas to myself, because that's part of my arsenal. I really don't feel the need to share too much about what I read or what I learn, unless something is really just I is like I'm just a thought and like doesn't go away, and I have to talk about it a bit. For instance, right here, so there's not much that I really feel that another person can participate in my spirituality, because it's mine. it's not like we're fucking in a I don't know, hooking up wires to like each other and like connecting that way. Like, no, each person is responsible for their own spirituality, and then give it however it may be, whether they choose to put another human in between them and a god, or whether they just want to go directly up to the god and speak to that god themselves and discern what that message is themselves, and really listen to what the higher self has to say about it, and try and do the things that the higher self um uh speaks to them on what they need to do. And no, I will never see my higher self as being another person, because to me also, if I believe in this for myself, then I believe in this for other people too. Even if other people don't believe in it for themselves, that basically, and it's not me forcing my belief on someone else, because if someone did tell me that they didn't believe in that at all, I just would not even bring it up around them, and I would just, I would just not really uh talk to them too much about it, or even, mention it around them, because they've already expressed their belief that they don't believe in it. So I'm fine with just saying, hey, okay, and going on about whatever I'm doing. Um, so I I really really do think, um at like the when everything is all said and done, each person is responsible for their own spirituality, just like everyone's responsible. uh and I know people say, well, you can get into an accident and it's not your fault. Like, physics, what the fuck are you going to do about physics? But still, you could think to remove yourself from the situation if you're around someone that's stupid, and that's probably going to end up hurting you. But uh you can, just like everyone's responsible for their mental, emotional, and physical um well-being, I believe a person is responsible for their spiritual well-being. But I know, well, you put someone in between you and your mental health and physical health and emotional health. Well, yeah, because we got therapists, psychologists, and doctors, physicians, to that go to school for fucking years to tell you how to take care of your body, give you tips, and really nudge you in the right direction to get your health on a better track, whatever that may be. Even though it's probably not fun, you're probably not going to enjoy it, and it's probably going to be really painful, because that's just how it is in some cases. But for spiritual well being, I really don't think that telling another person what your issue is, or try to get them to see or to understand something that you're having a problem with, is a good idea. And I say this because I've had that exploited on me in the past. And it's also something, well, uh, you can go up to like a preacher and have the preacher, decipher whatever is going on, and they have the spirit of God over them and whatever else. But at the end of the day, that preacher is just one guy. It's just one guy. That one guy is not going to like know everything. That one guy can sit there and say a prayer for you at the most. But even then, I just really don't see it, because the only person who's going to pray for you with the intensity that you need is yourself. That's the only person. Someone else can go say the words, but the power of the emotions and the intensity behind how much they absolutely need it will not be felt behind their words, because they are not you. This has been something that I've thought about so many times, because I was always taught that you have to let your elders know everything, when if you're in Jehovah's Witnesses and you're listening to them, do not let your elders know everything. But you're taught to make yourself as spiritually vulnerable as possible, so you can quote unquote be molded. And I feel like in reality, instead of being, molded, you're basically just opening yourself up to having a dial turn to whatever settings someone else wants it on, because you let them know something about yourself that is sensitive information that maybe only you should know, and that's something that your soul trusted in, that your higher self trusted in, that you yourself can settle and handle in a responsible way, and in a way that makes it better for you in the long run, because you are the one person who can do everything that you need for you. You can obtain everything that you need for yourself, um, and you can be responsible for everything in your life and keep everything up for yourself. And you can see, I do believe that you can see all of that through a spiritual gaze, but also, you know, no one's gonna do any better for you than you yourself. No one's going to sit and have a explanation for why these things happened and whatever else. Sometimes explanations are what is wanted the most, but an explanation is just an explanation at the end of the day. In most cases, it's not an answer, it's not a solution. It's just something, it's maybe for why a situation happened, but it's not a way out of the situation. And like I said, I just really feel like that exposing yourself to other people for whatever spiritual things that are happening that you feel challenged on in your life, or even if you're trying to send things out or pan things out from, some type of physical challenge, or mental or like emotional challenge. I feel like that those things can be tapped into and understood better through a spiritual gaze at the end of the day. Because yes, you can go and, of course, go do it. It's mental health, emotional health, physical health, very important, because you use all of those functions of your body every single day. And those things are very, very important for your function and your life to go well. But um, it's just really, really, like, some things, when things are going on where they're really bad, you can be sitting there and you can be like explaining the things away, and then later on you feel it, and it's like you have maybe a reason for what is happening and why that's happening. So because you have that reasoning there, now you understand it better, and you can go check, is this logic sound? Is this logic true? Is this really the reason why what's happening to me is happening to me? And you can sit down, you can meditate about things, and that's something else. When you are telling everything that's wrong with you to somebody else, you're not meditating. You are, in a sense, just uh I don't know, like, uh airing out your fucking laundry in front of whoever happens to be there at the moment. So you are airing yourself out, you are exposing your weaknesses, and you are exposing the things that really get to you, which is a really bad idea, because at the end of the day, humans are still predators, and humans are predators to each other. Now, I'm not saying that, that makes me want to, like, go out and, hide from other people, because it doesn't. But other people will use these weaknesses against you, because people are fucking evil. People are fucking evil, sick beings, and they will. Some of them, there's bad apples in every orchard. People will see some things about you, whether they used to be your friends or not. They can find things out about you, and they will try their best to torture you into doing what they, especially if they want you to do something. Like, the fucking harassment can turn, especially if you work with people like that, the fucking harassment can turn into something that is unbearable at times, and can really make somebody like crazy, and make somebody want to hurt somebody else because they are sick of being harassed and bullied by this person that thinks that they know everything because they might be a manager or something. um please look out for these type of people, and distance yourself from them as soon as you possibly can, and make sure that you are safe, that you are getting the help you need. And of course, if you have friends and you trust, some people have very few friends, some people have a lot of friends, but either way, if you're a person that's extroverted and you're more open, and please make sure that you are away from these people, and that, I'm guessing extroverted people hang around a lot of friends. I don't know, because I'm not extroverted. But also, if you're introverted, the same thing. Distance yourself from people that want to do harm to you and want to control what you do, because at the end of the day, most of these people don't give a fuck about you. Most of the people do not give a fuck about you, and um it's not because of, I'm just saying that, and so I can fucking um be right, and nobody can really, tell me that I'm wrong. It's because I have lived in a situation where I was supposed to, okay, I was supposed to have friends and trust other people. I did that, and I got slapped in the fucking, or kicked in the fucking face pretty fucking hard for it, because I decided to trust someone that was just a shitty person to be around in like every fucking situation. So that that being said, make please, if there is like anything that you can do to limit your contact with people that are trying to fucking bully you and tell you bullshit, and make it and so your life is harder, get rid of them. Get fucking rid of them, especially if you work with them on a fucking job. Because this is my thing, right? So I work with or I worked at this place for way too long. I did. I worked at this place for way too fucking long, and I did it because out of fear, because I didn't want to lose the job. I didn't want to not have money. And it was honestly, like, as far as like work goes, like one of the most relaxed jobs I've ever taken. But even so, um that being said, there is so much negativity that I had to endure in that position, even with complaints going out, even with me telling my, the authorities that were over me, uh in the office space, that this situation cannot be suitable for your mental health. And at the end of the day, the thing that you have and that I have, that is mine, and no one else's, is my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, my spiritual health. Okay? Um, that is something that belongs to me, and other people have theirs, and that's the thing that makes most sense to me, because I just really do feel like, if there is a place and time that my soul is going to speak to me, it's going to be directly with me first, and it's not going to be through another person. It's going to be because humans have evolved over the mm, uh I don't know, over the millions of years that, or I'm sorry, not millions, the millenniums, I guess. Yeah, but like Homo sapiens go back to being like 200,000 to 400,000 years ago, but still, uh, up until today, humans have evolved, especially in their brains, and they have evolved to know when a danger is near and evolved enough to make a decision about what they should do. And all that happens in your head first. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the best decision that you can make, and it doesn't mean that it's going to completely take away the problem and get you out of the situation that you're in. Hopefully it's not, you're not in that situation because you decided to do some type of stupid thing, like, take a life, rob somebody, vandalize something, um, or uh, abuse somebody. But it's more so because your system is set up, and so you rely on yourself. Um, you trust yourself. You have the ability to discern for yourself what is needed and what is not, and so you can know for a fact that if I don't get out of here soon enough, there's not going to be anything left, because it's going to go down to the fact that uh it's either going to be somebody had a bad day, there was a fight at work or something, and maybe that's how this thing starts, and then it just goes down, goes down, goes down, until eventually that person is just beside themselves because they cannot understand that they needed to get out of that place, that space that was really bad to be in, as soon as they possibly could. Because they were always taught that you should not trust yourself, you should trust what other people say. That was something that I was always taught. That was something that I was always uh subjected to, especially when I was a child. Is that uh you don't trust other people. You trust, if you want to do something, you have to go ask somebody first if it's right to like do that. And pretty much adults were taught to be that same way in the Jehovah's Witnesses with everything in life, that before you make a decision you should go to your elders. Don't fucking do that. Trust in yourself. You have power. You are a strong being. The human soul is strong, and it knows what it needs and when it needs it. And yeah, you might not get everything right, and you could still have friends around you and have those do those same things when you're off on your own. But still, you are responsible for everything that you want in your life. So if you're not trusting yourself to get everything that you want in your life, then you are the reason why you don't have it, because you won't trust yourself in it. And no, I'm not saying go out and do like crazy shit, like rob a place, or go out and mug somebody, or uh try to hack somebody in some fucking crypto hack or something like that. I'm talking about, just trust in yourself to do things the legal way, that the laws around you allow for you to behave and act, and just see how things pan out. Because I have done this, and it has worked very, very well for me. I haven't really had much issue, and I haven't really had much of a thing that I can say, man, I still wish I wouldn't have left uh Jehovah's Witnesses, or wouldn't have left the toxic place that I used to work at. Because no, I can fully say that I don't feel that way, and I have not felt that way. And it's just one of those things that if I wouldn't have trusted in myself, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And if especially if you're told not to trust in yourself and you do it, you do that anyway, that that kind of, like, I don't know, the kind of stride that they don't want you to find out that you can really do because you're really strong, and you go out and you do it, like that feeling, it's like feeling like you're with your best friend at the time, and you're with your most trusted person, which is yourself. It can be, and that doesn't mean that you're selfish. That doesn't mean that, oh, this person, so and so doesn't really talk to us about this because uh they don't trust us. No, it's just because this person knows that their self is their best friend, and there's nothing selfish about that. And that's something that when I converted over to paganism, when I started reading and learning about witchcraft and uh separate, like, learning about separate deities, and learning how to really what kind of like what each what the deities you're currently working with, like, and how they um how given a description of how they wish for their uh for the one, or for the practitioner that they're with, to behave, it is always to behave in a way that you trust yourself. So in other words, if you're going to go to a deity and you're going to ask a deity for some type of help, and you do not receive that type of help right away, right then and there, and so you give up, that deity is gonna just say, well, this person didn't even try. This person didn't even believe in themselves. And the reason why the deity is gonna say that is because the person did not believe in themselves. The person did not try. The person did not care enough, because that person threw everything onto the deity and did nothing for themselves. You have to do things for yourself if you want any type of results. That's how it works. That's how it is. And I never really felt more empowered than when I read that deities want you to believe and trust in yourself, not in others. Because being raised in a Christian cult, um, you are absolutely stripped of that as fast as they can take it away from you. You really are. They do not want people to believe in themselves. They do not want people to trust, to go after the things that they want in life. They want people to go after what they tell them to in life, and they want people to not trust themselves. Because so many times, so many articles, so many magazines I remember reading, and it's like, don't fall into the snare of trusting yourself. Well, trusting in yourself is how you build self-confidence, and self-confidence is needed, especially if you're in a tough situation where you cannot get out of without trusting in yourself, because you are so trained into putting that, or giving someone else that strength, and then expecting that you are going to benefit from it. Like, how is it that I give my strength away to someone else and I expect that to help me out with my situation? That doesn't work. If someone's trying to help me, they will not take my strength. They will put their strength towards what I'm doing as well, and we go about it like that. Or maybe it's also another person that is just in that same situation. So both of them are working together on the same thing, but they're not giving away their strength. They're not giving away uh their most their most powerful attributes to help them get out of a situation. That reasoning has never made any fucking sense to me in Christianity. It just never has. And um like I said, converting over to paganism and reading so many different books about paganism, it was very empowering and very, very encouraging. And just to feel like, just to feel this like huge weight lifted off of you, where you have had for so long to trust in others and to not act on the situation, but sit there and do nothing and somehow expect it to all work out through the power of God. No, fucking power, the power that the gods and goddesses give you, they expect you to use it so you can get out of what in life, what you need to get out of it, and help you survive the situations. Now, praying for that help, for or praying for a successful, guidance through some type of situation, that's fine. But sitting there and doing nothing, because if you don't, then you're relying on your own judgment, or sorry, on your own thoughts, and how that can bring you down a horrible road. Like I said, it's fucking night and day difference, from what I used to believe to what I believe now. Or, well, not really used to believe. I never did believe it, but from what I was taught to what I am learning of my own will now, is that you are your own best friend. Um, no one is going to take care of problems for you as well as you can for yourself, and no one is going to give you what you need faster and better, maybe, than what you can for yourself, because you know yourself the best. No one else knows you better than you do. Besides maybe a deity that you may have been working with, who can reveal more about yourself to you, um, as you go along your path to contact, or to gain, or sorry, to go along your path with your higher self. So being told that your soul is what happens around you, I genuinely do feel is bullshit. Yes, yes, in some situations it might be true, but also I feel like in some situations some people are just trying to be uh what I would kind of call like a friendly asshole, right? So there's someone that tries to come along and maybe tell you something that worked for them, and they fucking believe so hard that this will work for anyone who's in this situation. And so they try to force that belief on you, and then when you don't want to take it, they start becoming abusive towards you and start trying to tell you how you're wrong, and why you're probably in this situation to begin with, and why nobody probably wants to hang around with you. Fucking drop them. Drop them right there. Don't talk to them. Get them out of your life as soon as you can, because these people are not your friends. Yes, friendly might be in the name, but an asshole is still a fucking asshole. And the only thing it will do is fart and shit all over you. So there's not much else to really, discuss or discover there. There the whole thing is, do only what I say because I know best. And it's like, no, you don't know this person. This person has told you maybe one thing about themselves, and maybe you are cunning enough to say, well, if this is true, then this is probably true, and that's probably true, and the other thing over here is probably true, and the thing down here is probably true. So maybe you can guys without a little bit, without really getting to know or getting that person to tell you much else. And so you can kind of think that they are that way, but you still don't know for sure. You still do not know for sure. I just it really does just fucking irk me so bad that some people just think that because they have some sort of experience in their life, that it like allows them to tell other people how, or sorry, not to tell, but to demand that other people act a certain way, because, or to do, maybe they're trying to like bully them into doing what they say is best. You don't know this person. um and it's just it's just it's just basically also, so you have that factor, and then the factor where they would try to gaslight you and make you feel crazy, or tell other people that you're crazy, or tell other people that you are not a good person to be around because you don't listen to your friends. um because for sure they're gonna call, workmate, yeah, I see him every day, we're friends. It's like, no, we're not. So, and especially if someone that is your friend tries to say that you are not listening to them, so you're not a good friend. It's like, no, you have every right not to listen to somebody. You have every fucking right. Nobody is there nobody there knows more about your life and what you have experienced than you do. And sure, there may be some things that you don't recognize yet, but, time reveals all. And in time, your higher self will have a chance of revealing that to you. And that is what I just honestly have been learning for the past, what, maybe like, I don't know, 5 years now. So it's really one of those things that I am so grateful that I didn't do what other people said, and I didn't make other people happy, and I didn't fucking care about how they felt about it. And yeah, maybe they're calling me a selfish pig for it or whatever, or saying that I am just absolutely going without any type of sense in my life. um I I don't feel that way. Having to come to terms with your family being taken away from you because you are being honest and you don't believe in what they're teaching, and you're not gonna sit there and try to believe in what they're teaching because it just doesn't vibe. No, I'm not gonna feel bad for telling my truth, and I'm not gonna feel bad for maybe hurting other people because I don't want to be in their religion that they cannot see is a cult and is something that is harmful to family and to an individual themselves, because they don't understand that taking away or taking a person out of a family is killing them. uh it's murder. Okay. It A lot of the times, I've heard public talks while being when I was still one of Jehovah's Witnesses, at the Kingdom Hall, doing my PMO thing. um that what is it that getting disfellowshipped is the same thing as being stoned. So you know how they would like stone people in like Old Testament and shit like that to like kill them because it's the judgment of God, which is another thing that Christians believe. And I think more so that Christianity, that the belief of what happens to you, that what happens around you is your soul speaking to you, is a belief based on Christianity because of the stoning. Because when a person sinned in the Old Testament, I forget who did the stoning. I think it was the people in that camp, or their family. I can't really remember which one, but still, that was considered the judgment of God. So on that day, during that day, the judgment of God was around them to kill them. So I don't know. Your soul killing yourself, like what? Um, it's just it's such a fucking stupid ass um thing that I've never been able to really make sense of. But it's still one of those things where I can see how people, after being raised on that bullshit, especially from the guys of Watchtower, uh I can really understand how people can see that type of thing uh is something to fear, and to really like look out for, because there's nothing else around that is going to make a person more scared than saying, oh, if you do this, you're gonna lose access to your family. Your family is going to outcast you. Your friends are gonna outcast you, and you're just gonna be alone. And humans, by nature, are well, most of them are ones that want to exist in a group. Humans are social creatures. Um, and humans want to be a part of something. It's just normal. It's normal for humans to want to do that. So of course, that's like the best form of torture. And yes, I'm calling it torture because torture in the US is illegal, and this is a way that is used to torture the ones that have really come to terms with their life, really honestly accepted, and chose to like move on, and want to move on, because they have found that maybe this teaching for them doesn't work, it's not right, they're not benefiting from anything at all out of it, and there's nothing that they can really do to try to get around it, because the people in their lives were so fucking shitty. And it's just everything around that compacted, where you cannot escape from it. Yeah, I can completely see how that makes it feel, and that makes it seem like your soul is speaking to you that you need to go back. You don't fucking need to go back. That's that's not your soul. Your soul, the average person is not homicidal. The average person does not seek violence, or wish to cause harm to others. Most people want to just to be left the fuck alone and do their little hobbies, make some money, and have a good time with their family and friends, which is honestly, you know, a pretty respectable life. So I really don't understand the need for that type of dogma and doctrine to make people live in fear. But either way, this is something that I have encountered multiple times in my life, multiple times where people really do feel like that they are there's no escaping, there's no escaping the uh the judgment of God or whatever. And I mean, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe, but at the same time you believe that, so you're casting that on your own self. That's the part that I really don't understand. And I guess maybe some people that watch any of my content would say, well, he's someone that has said that Jordan Peterson is a good person to learn from, which I have. And a lot of the times, Jordan Peterson has said, uh, living living your life to how you want to uh, would make it all go to hell. And the way that like he describes it is like, so a person doing only in life what they want to, which there are people like that only do things in life only when and what they want to, um and they do that until their life is fucking unbearable. And most of the time when your life gets to be unbearable, you're either dying, or you are going to jail, or you are going to lose something very important in your life, whether it be a person, a possession, um, because you have decided to make decisions that affected you in a negative way. That part about it, I completely agree with him on it. Like I said, I'm not so much into Christianity because I was abused in Christianity, but I completely see his take on that, and I completely see why he would say that. And I mean, I completely agree with the notion that those who are elder to us in age are wiser because they have lived longer, they have more experience, especially when they study the human mind, such as Peterson has, and has the type of debates with people that Dr. Peterson has. These types of things are things that I feel like are still good knowledge to go by. I just don't really resonate with Christianity like that. And no, going from being a Christian to being a pagan, do I feel like that because according to the Christian, like I just saw that fucking picture today, the picture of, I forget who made it, but it's like the picture of like all the angels and supposed to be God, and then there's like an angel with a sword pointing down, and then there's like all these people squirming around in hell and with like hellfire and all this other stuff. Like, does that mean because I go from being a Christian to being a pagan that I no longer need to follow any of the laws that I followed when I was a Christian, such as, do not steal, do not murder, do not covet your neighbor's things, do not what is another deal? Oh yeah, uh do not have like incest, do not conspire, um things like that. Like, yeah, there's still wisdom in those things. There's still things taken to take out and to learn and to look at and to really honestly apply those things to your life would probably make one's life better. But I also feel that there's a lot of negativity that I left behind that I don't want it, and I don't find it, and I'm not looking for it. But it's one of those things where I would never ever go back to it because there is just something that makes it so fucking ridiculous and such a fucking uh harsh doctrine to follow, that every single waking moment you are guilty of something that is natural for you to do. And that, I mean, yeah, like, fucking uh it's natural for people to want to fuck. It's natural for people to want to have fun, to want to party, and uh you know to want uh to just live in fucking average life. It's fucking natural. Uh and so many of those things I was taught was like so bad to do, but they're really not bad. They're just average things. Of course, doing something too much, I feel like, is bad. Anything without moderation is bad. very common answer. You can die from drinking too much water. It's 100% absolutely true. You can die from drinking too much water. So everything in moderation is a natural thing. I feel like as well. But to, like I said earlier, to live under um the assumption that you must feel guilty, and you must remember and feel guilty and feel shame and feel whatever other ridiculous emotions they try to shove down your fucking throat, that you are a sinful creature squirming on the fucking ground, and there is nothing that you can ever do to escape that, and you're automatically born indebted to somebody because somebody did something for you supposedly 2000 years ago, or sorry 2026 years ago, that you never agreed to or signed up for or wanted to be a part of. So you must feel all these things because this person did that, and there was no way for you to escape it because that was already what was decided by for you by those around. You're full of bullshit. I don't care if kings and queens believe that. They were full of bullshit too. Uh, and I'm basing that off of the Crusades. If it's wrong to murder, it was wrong to murder for the Crusades. Because murder is murder. It doesn't matter. So that being said, I've never felt like I should be indebted. I've never seen a Jesus or any of that as like I should be indebted. So and there's also something that I've had with other friends in the past of them trying to tell me the same thing, that whatever is happening around you is what your soul is saying, is what your higher self is trying to tell you. All this while being one of Jehovah's Witnesses and being taught that there is no higher self. There is only your sinful self, and there is no one else around you besides uh, God's God's eyes to check how sinful you are at every waking moment. Um, so that being said, this tactic has been used on me, or tried to be used on me multiple times. I've never ever believed it, but then the amount of anger that was felt when I explained it, and how much that they hated that I wouldn't do what they wanted me to do is ridiculous. Like, I don't know, say you're not my friend without saying you're not my friend. Hello? Who the fuck gets angry at somebody for expressing their real beliefs and expressing how they actually really see the world and opening up? Like, you should be genuinely grateful that someone has chosen to open up. I'm not saying, because it's me, but anyone, if someone chooses to open up to you, you should feel grateful because that person trusts you as a friend. And that, friendship is a big responsibility. It really is. Friendship, any type of relationship or trust with a person is a huge responsibility because it's someone that is now relying on you for support at times. And it's someone that is opening themselves up and trying to tell you uh, what life means to them. To me, that's a huge thing. Sure, people go, they write a book about that kind of shit, and they charge people $20 a copy to read, and that's that. That's honestly a very, very good idea. But also, people try to do that with just genuine friendships, and being treated in that way is nothing more than a kick in the fucking face. Because there is honestly not much that I can say for having any type of contact with those people today, because it's just not there. Um and there's been like little to no sense in what I was trying to do back then, but I really couldn't see it because I didn't know how bad things actually were in the place that I was and the organization that I used to be a part of. I had no fucking clue. I had an idea because I was a PMO, but I had no clue that it was actually as bad as I have found it out to be, which is another reason why when I converted over to paganism, the first thing I did is I bought books. I didn't go online. I didn't research what books I should read. I didn't do any of that because I didn't want a suggestive uh what is it, comment or whatever to guide me in what path I should go. I wanted to pick up a book, whatever book it was that I found, and I wanted to read it. And that is exactly what I did. And, you know, it guided me in a well enough direction to where eventually I was able to find literature um that really did expand my knowledge on paganism so much more, and it really did expand how people how I saw that people thought. And it also expanded my knowledge because with me researching paganism, I also wanted to research more of the human mind, because um I feel like it was just a shock of being lied to for so many years, and being deceived from people that were supposed to be my superiors, from watchtowers, quote unquote, loving shepherds, and being talked about, you know, behind closed doors, and then having someone roll up on you and tell you, well, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, we didn't see you on this day, you didn't help us here, we don't feel like that you really do care, because even though you spend most of your weekends around us, and you go preaching, we just really don't see the effort. I mean, like, fucking hello, like, I'm supposed to be doing everything I can, which I genuinely was, because I was terrified of being kicked out and not being able to talk to my family, that that something really bad was going to end up happening to me. And then on top of all this, to be told by someone else at work that is nobody's fucking business that you are subject to people that say shit around you because it's what your soul is what your soul is trying to say to you. It's like, no, no, it's not. It's not what your soul is trying to say to you. It's what other people are trying to bully you that are saying this shit to you. Please don't fall for it. Please do not fall for that fucking trap. Um, especially if you're like converting, and you're trying to have a new start. Trust in yourself. Trust in yourself. So long as it does not break, so long as it does not break a law of the land, or maybe some type of law that whatever deity you're serving at the time has. Trust in yourself, and you'll see. Um, it's really not easy to do, but it is a simple thought, and you probably have to run it back multiple times. Trust in yourself, trust in yourself, trust in yourself, and really distinguish in your mind what trusting in yourself means to you, and then acting based on that. Now, whether or not there is any type of way to judge how the outcome of you trusting yourself is going to be, to me, that basically means that it is something that you have to really run a little. simulation in your head multiple times based off your knowledge of the world and how things around you work. Um, and you seeing the type of people that are around you, that happen to be around you at the time. Now, I feel like everyone has this feeling that you feel as though you cannot talk. At least I do, and I'm pretty sure this works for humans. There are, in like humanity, there are some humans that other humans cannot talk to. It's just how it fucking is. As you know, as much as like everyone says like uh world peace and people should be together and people shouldn't fight, whatever, there are certain people that other people cannot talk to. And it's not because that they're special or they're fucking annoying, or it's just because you just don't fucking get along. you'll you'll just fucking start fighting. And the reason why I bring this up is because, so that's something else. If your soul is what is around you, and you come across one of these people and they start trying to talk to you, but you're getting a weird fucking vibe off of them, and you don't want to talk to them, don't fucking talk to them, because chances are it could end up not being well for you later on, and that would be very bad. And it would also show that you do not understand um how to really, communicate with others. And I'm not saying, be some like type of uh I don't know, be the fucking, what is it that they call those people, the fucking edgy people that don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not saying to be like that, but what I'm saying is, if you feel like whenever you are around someone and you're trying to speak, or they're trying to speak to you, and you feel a weird vibe from them, and you feel as though something is gonna go off, don't talk to them. I'm guessing that women don't really feel this because most women are, feel like, very uh agreeable, but for guys, yeah, I've really felt that in the past, especially um for the uh for the ones who did not have a similar, or for the ones that wanted me to have a similar view for them, and I didn't. And the amount of times I would just get cursed out, I would get called names, I would get bullied. They would try to like humiliate me in front of other people, and I just sat there and fucking ignored them because I didn't care, and that made them even more mad. And most of the time, ended up being better for me. But if that happened and I was around my friends or my mom or whatever, and or my dad, and they would see me do that, they would say, "You're making them mad, you need to stop that." And I would just say, "No, I'm not making them mad, they're making them mad. I'm over here minding my fucking business. If me minding my fucking business makes you mad, then you're the problem, not me, and you need to go fuck off somewhere." I mean, it's just common sense to me. It's just fucking common sense. And I know that, a few, like, I'm in contact with, like, a church for of paganism because, just to have, people to reach out to, uh, in a type of community, and on, like, Facebook or whatever. But, like, I've never seen no contact be an issue besides with people that don't know how to behave. And I have not yet seen that in the communities that I'm a part of. Um so I have a good feeling there too, that I don't need to relax, or I don't need to really be worried about, because there's so many other paths, so many people are actually able to communicate well and respect each other's path, respect each other's beliefs, and that type of thing where people get mad or they want to fight or whatever else, or they just want to blow up online or like try and like humiliate you in front of other people so they can seem like they're more dominant. I honestly don't find that in paganism, and I feel like a reason for that is because paganism is so old that a lot of the believers have just learned that doing that is not good for survival. It's not good for survival of the religion or for survival of the person or persons involved in that. And I see it more so on the side of Christianity than I do in paganism, because uh, it's just like people I really just don't understand it, but people go out that are Christians and they say, "Oh, I have the protection of God, so I can go do whatever I want and tell other people whatever I want, and it's fine because God is with me." It's like, no, you're just looking like a fucking dumbass. If that's your God being with you, then I mean, whatever. But you trying to walk around and seem dominant and look dominant and big, it's not really what matters. You know, at the end of the day, it's not really what people are going to look to you for. It's just people are going to see you, they're going to associate you with being an annoying fuck, and it's just going to go away from there. um I like I said, I really don't regret anything that I have learned, and I don't regret trusting in myself, and I don't regret denying the notion that your soul is what happens around you, meaning whatever you happen to be around that day, it's your soul trying to tell you something. I've had multiple Christians try to come up to me with that argument to try, when I was leaving Christianity, to try and reel me back in. Um, and it's just another one of those things where you really have to see where you're at with yourself spiritually and where another person is coming from, uh, and understand that at the end of the day, the person that is talking to you, that's trying to get you back in, doesn't really care about you. They more likely care about the recognition they'll get from other church members that they were able to bring you back to God. That is a huge, huge fucking red flag that I saw with so many Christians when I was leaving. It's that they honestly don't care about you. They care about how their congregation will see them for their accomplishment in bringing you back. Um, and that's honestly another reason why I chose not to go back, because it's selfish. It is, it is a selfish gain to have others see you um as their easy targets, so uh they can manipulate you into thinking that your decision was wrong in the first place. So those are my takes, those are my reasons. I know that this is a really long one. But those are my reasons for why I believe that your soul is not what is happening uh, around you. Um, it's that I truly do believe that your soul reaches out to you first. It tells you first. I've always believed in the little voice in my head, the things that it tells me to do them because it's my head. It's there for a reason. It's there for human survival. It's evolved over uh m- millenniums um to guide people to the best path of life, to guide people towards their higher self. Um, maybe even the more you listen to it, is the more that it's tuned by your higher self, so you can achieve more. And that's about it for this one.